When I met this woman 4 years ago, I went to a 2-hour, pretty much what you will see today, a little bit different format, but 2 hour of a workshop. I was just like, oh my God, you don't have to read 100 books. And you don't have to really go to seminars. I'm a psychologist. We were required to go to personal growth training. So I've been in it like for over 20 years and I love it deeply. But I said like, wow, you can really say it in like an hour and then the second hour is for questions. That's pretty much it.
All right, so what I want to do is take these principles and apply them to the heart model here. And you can see that there's 3 principles and then the fourth one. The fourth one is kind of the overall. The first 3 are exactly in tune with these. Say what you see is the part where we're connecting with the child. This is the part of children will continue to communicate until they're heard. This is like really important here, so that when we're able to say what we see them doing, saying, feeling, and thinking, that communication gets complete and they can move on. Because if a communication is stifled at that point, we carry it with us through life until we resolve it, until we hear it ourselves and see the greatness in it. Right? So this all becomes part of spiritual growth as well, personal growth. So this is in line with the first principle. The strengths, that was pretty obvious. Children have every possible inner strength. There is no child who's born without responsibility. Sorry, I got the bad one. You know, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Parents really relate to their children like, oh my gosh, the responsibility's not there. Then they go find it and shove it in. It's got to fit in here somewhere, you know?
Take
and the child's going,
class.
Take what?
Motivation.
Oh, my child's not motivated. I got the one without motivation. Oh man. You know, now what do I do? Yeah, right? I mean, this is honestly, this is us. This is our lives. This is how we interact with kids a lot of times when we don't understand. But when we teach this, all children have every possible inner strength. Oh, it's in there somewhere. Now the parents start looking, just as Eva said. And of course...
I just want to say one more thing. Everything, we always say children, but it's actually about us. It's totally about us too. We all have every possible strength. Isn't this fantastic? I think this is fantastic. I just had to say it.
Yes, exactly. So yes, Eva, when she came to us, brought in the element of the parent personal growth part of it, because to me, I'm all about kids, you know, so we're a good partnership in that. So children act according to who they believe they are. Now we know how to change a behavior. If an action is happening over here, you're going to go, wow, that's a child who doesn't know that they're powerful, or that's a child that doesn't know that they can be a good friend. So we bring them the experiences so that they can experience themselves as that and identify as that. This is like really even simpler than I'm saying. This is, say what you see is going on in the moment, very objective. If you see something you like, name the strength. If you see something you don't, offer a can-do. Like this is it for child management. This is the thing in total. This is connection right here, the big piece of connection, which is important. This is keeping children in touch with their inner greatness, and this is opening possibility for them in life. A completely different relationship with boundaries than most people have. All right? So a quick example of how you would use this just in one moment with a child, just pow, 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 would be you come up to a child, child's looking out the window. Say what you see the child doing, saying, feeling, and thinking. And seeing puts you in the moment, in the physical world with the child, because you're actually seeing it. This is how we get parents out of their head into the moment. By there has to be a physical presence for you to even speak. You've got to be able to see something. So we're no longer speaking from judgment up here. All right, so saying what you see. The child is looking out the window. The first thing I come up and say is like, this is really hard, right? You're looking out the window. This is no kidding. And the child will go, you know, like I've been noticed. And that's all this is. You speak the objective observation of what's happening in the moment, and you say, you're looking out the window. But you're probably going to get a whole story now. Probably you won't have to say anything else. But the child will come back and certainly say something. And perhaps there's a squirrel out in the tree, and the child says, you know, there's a squirrel up the tree, right? Say what you see the child saying, right? It's, oh, there's a squirrel up the tree. I mean, do you see how easy this is? This is like, and the child's going, yes, they understand, you know? And if you change the words a little bit, they even feel better. So then it's like, ooh, it's right over there. You saw that squirrel up the tree. You know, like they know that you understood completely, so you're with them. So this entire bond occurs in these moments of the physical reality of seeing. This is what we can see. We can see the child speaking. We can see the child doing. Those things are very, very clear. Those are the basic levels. Basically, it's the introductory level into the child's world. It's the objective point where we all can meet. We're over here in our heads, the child's over there in their heads, and there's this wonderful place in between us, which is the physical world. So by doing these first two simple, simple things, saying what the child is doing and saying what the child is saying, we can step out of our heads into the objective zone and then immediately get over into the feeling and thinking, which is the deeper connection of understanding. So the deeper connection of understanding is sounds like you're amazed that that squirrel can go up that tree. And the child's going, yes, look, he's upside down. And you go, wow, you've never seen anything like that before. You would have thought that that squirrel would fall. But there he is, stuck up on that tree. Right? See, I just went into feeling and thinking just like that. And the child, I'm in the child's world. I'm excited about this squirrel that's upside down. I mean, I haven't even thought about that in years. You know, so this is how we get to re-experience. This is what I was talking about. You know, this is putting the child in the lead, even in a conversation. This is how we do it. And it's very simple. Say what you see the child doing, saying, feeling, and thinking. Those are the 4 areas that are right in front of you that will keep you grounded in the moment and able to step into the child's perspective. Simple, simple, simple. Say what you see. One thing to remember. If I'm here, now I'm objective, and I'm going to be doing, you know, what we would call conscious parenting or even conscious teaching, because I'm already grounded in the present moment with that child. The children are in the present moment of the now, the physical world of all the senses, touch, sound, taste, all of those things are the child's world. And we're off here in our head a lot of the times with all the concepts that we're able to play around with. That's our playground now. That's where we are most of the time. When you say what you see, something has to have happened. There has to be something in front of you to be able to say that. All behaviors are driven by healthy needs. In the case of the can-do, we'll see something. I mean, pretty much every moment I'm with a child, these things come up. And yesterday in a little volunteer situation, I had a 2-year-old climbing on a table, right? And there was another person in the room going, oh, get off the table, you know, the standard reaction that we have. So what you do instead is like, oh, you're on the table. Right now, that's all I have to say. Oh, you're on the table. And I can go straight to the can-do. I don't have to dwell on this boundary. I don't like kids on the table. That's my boundary here. So I can offer a can-do that works. In the meantime, I'm looking at what is that need. And as Eva said, those 3 basic needs, experience, connection, and power. The first one that I work with the younger children in particularly is the experience. So you go, okay, climb on the table. What's the closest thing I can think of that's okay with me? Right? And I grab 2 cushions and I put them on the floor and I go, you want to climb? Here's some cushions. You can climb here. No problem. Child goes, oh, cushion, you know, and climbs on the cushions. No resistance whatsoever, because the only thing that was happening was the child was demonstrating this brilliant awareness that all children have of their own needs. They can't verbalize it, but they know what it is because whatever it is they're doing is meaning it. It already is. So when we start from where the child is and we offer a can-do that matches that as closely as possible, there's no resistance whatsoever because we're doing what the child was trying to do anyway. But we're doing it in a way that we're kind of socializing, we're teaching them what's okay with us in this society and in getting along with people and keeping physical bodies safe and all of those things that the child might not be thinking about. So the can-do approach is very, very different than dwelling on a boundary. And it's so natural for children, this whole structure is so natural for children that I have a niece, she's adopted, we've had her since she was around 2. And very early on, by us simply using the can-do approach to boundaries, she picked this up completely to the point that she had a real fear of spiders. These were very scary things, plus her mama had gotten bit by a brown recluse, and you know how sick people get with that. So she had this big fear of spiders, well grounded in reality. And we're outside in the front yard and she sees a spider. And she says, spider, you know, bite my mommy, you eat the grass. There's a can-do for a spider, you know? I mean, this is like phenomenal because when we raise the children the other way, you know, where it's all fear-based and we have to get rid of these things that are scary in life, the child would want to squash it. You know, I mean, this is like we have a can-do for a spider. You know, I'm in the garden. Her dog comes over and starts digging, and then, of course, I do my thing. I'm like, oh, get out of my garden. And she goes, oh, where can she dig? And I'm like, huh, you know, like this is just brilliant. So look at the world that we create for children when we do this simple set of things. Very, very simple set of things. Right? You start here in the real world with the child. You're grounded in the present. The strengths show up. The child's connected with their greatness, and all sorts of wonderful possibilities occur. So that's sort of the clockwise version of this. When it's counterintuitive and you're not seeing the strength right away, you still get there. You start with what's there in the moment, you're in the present with that child, you're offering the can-dos, now you see the strengths, and they come this way. But we can always get back to the strengths, no matter what. And that's what matters, because this is who the child believes he or she is. And this is where all of the behaviors are going to come from, this part right here. When we're connected with our greatness, what we do is great works.